Finally, my fellow Ghanaians, this is the situation the accused person and the judge in this particular case find themselves. Per fact enumerated, I honestly think this judge must either recuse himself or be forced to recuse himself.
Yan samay fo nyina kwaba ebiem emra jumadie. So finally Kelvin Eko Bedu Taylor, he is in Ghana. Na Ghana Kelvin Taylor babe piem no asanso ye ne gisam ama oni na busua ene ne fancy nyina ne se Kelvin Taylor eko piemu ewo court na court a okopie mu no Supreme Court atimi ahye se Kelvin Taylor ebetimi atena oman Ghana mu na wato na dwuma so a obia entimi enya ne hwe na obekaya in 2020 January 16th and ebeto dwa se Justice Chamber for issue bench warrant area to Kelvin Taylor. So say Kelvin Taylor epiem ewo oman Ghana mu a yenche no eno chi no I am not being say Kelvin Taylor after say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ewene ye no Kelvin Taylor babe piem ewo oman Ghana mu nanso wo bie ni ho a wodi nani ehu Kelvin Taylor wo mo no mo keka nyina na se na akwakoye allegations ena wo mo ma na nse kwa no kata chefifa kwa de betu dwa se Kelvin Taylor babe piem ewo oman Ghana mu a owo vice president fie eno chi ena Kelvin Eko Bedu Taylor one na chitafo nyina atadwe wo mate den na okopie mu e court etimi abua asem no ede amano na justice chamber for ye kana semi onie ense ai judge we na ede Kelvin Taylor eko court se a comment bi a Kelvin Taylor ma fa no ho social media no so no ense ha dwen na dientia anase video kra Kelvin Taylor ya ema sansemi nyina eko bae no abusua bebese eko na enyabotre na etie na ehwe nsama Kelvin Taylor edi tudwa efa sa judge no ho na onim se ai omukopie mu ewo court no eye 4-1 na judges no eye 5 4 no ekoma Kelvin Taylor ba ko de wose dabi ai Kelvin Taylor difo judge aye kan ho asemi eye Justice NS Gawu unse ai na banko kufuado ebo ni din se onko Supreme Court no ho nsem ye bebre amanfo kra ka se ai waye parliamentary candidate ama NPP da enti wo mu nyini ni nanso wo to so eye na dwuma ewo Supreme Court nti sa judge ena one day o se dabi Kelvin Taylor edifo enti ekoya 4-1 sa no Kelvin Taylor dipem finally on the fans nyina ebos enti Ghana fo nyina nhwe ni mu se ye ne Kelvin Taylor ena eba betna oman Ghana mu wadi ka kwa ka se ai ni media no o de bo oman Ghana no abetna ha na adwuma pa His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ebeye bia no watimi abohu dawuro na bibia aye kama but then yankonko video Kelvin Eko Bedu Taylor in 2020 na ekofa sansem we nyina ba ya Justice Chamber for edi nsemi kopie kota ekoye bebrea sisi amino kase ye buasem no ede ama Kelvin Taylor nti video na ekofa nsem ni nyina ebaye no iyenya butrenko na yenhwe.
Hi, my name is Kevin Taylor. Today I'll be telling you about the men in red. Yes, the men in red and how some of them have been compromised. This is with all due respect. With all due respect, the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, nominated Justice Enin Yeboah as the new Chief Justice, forwarded his name to Parliament as required by Article 1441 of the 1992 Constitution, and has finally been sworn in as Ghana's Chief Justice. Without silence media, we welcome you, Justice Enin Yeboah, and wish you good luck and God's blessings. In fact, the reason why I have decided to come out with this piece on our judicial system is because I know the Chief Justice has a first-hand idea of what I'm about to disclose today on my show. Even though the Chief Justice has not played any role in this scam, I will be happy if he takes immediate actions to save the judiciary from any further embarrassment. Let me make this clear. In the weeks to come, I will release audio on meetings between one particular judge and some high-profile government appointees and the president himself on how to twist the arm of the judiciary to favor some greedy politicians and, more importantly, this government. This episode is directed to the new Chief Justice, and I hope he will act as quickly as possible to avoid any more embarrassment of the judicial system. As we all are aware, the judiciary is the third arm of government. The judiciary has the responsibility to apply the laws to specific cases and settle disputes. The real meaning of law is what the judges decide during the course of giving their judgment in various cases. From the citizen's point of view, judiciary is the most important organ of government because it acts as their protector against possible excess of the remaining organs. Now, the sad part is some judges have decided to ignore their core mandate to become partisan and also greedy at the same time. Let me remind Ghanaians that apart from the current Chief Justice, the President has also promoted judges. The following judges were moved to the Court of Appeal: Justice Anthony Opon, Justice Samuel Kwame Adibu Asibu, Justice Philip Bright Mensah, Justice Angelina Mensah Homia, Justice Jennifer Amanda Dodu, Justice Sophia Rosetta Udukwa Banasco Esa, Justice Georgina Mensah Datsa, Justice Eric Che Bafo, Mr. Yao Dakon Asare, and Mr. Obemenu Jr. Esquire. My fellow Ghanaians, now most of these noble judges have substantial judicial or governmental experience. That notwithstanding, we have a few of these judges who cannot and will never bury their partisan stance and ideological inclination, and have always allowed themselves to be used as conduit by politicians in pursuing their mischievous agenda. I have taken time to investigate. Loud Silence Media, with all due respect, we have taken time to investigate the background of the judges promoted by the President, and I must say, some have excellent track record. One person whose promotion has caused serious tensions within the judiciary is Justice Eric Che Bafo. This man, Justice Eric Che Bafo. My fellow Ghanaians, today I'll be revealing so many things and why Ghana as a country has to be very worried about Justice Che Bafo. This statement actually goes to the Chief Justice because this particular justice by name Che Bafo will be the poison in his sweet wine if he, the Chief Justice, ignores these clear signs and evidence I'll be putting across today. I told you guys I'll be releasing audios. If the Chief Justice fails to open an inquiry into the conduct of Justice Che Bafo, I will. And Loud Silence Media, with all due respect, we will release the audios. This is not a threat, but a caution to the judicial system. With all due respect, my fellow Ghanaians, now let's get into today's issue. My focus today is on the NCAA case involving Eugene Bafuboni, a former board chairman of the NCAA, William Tetetevi, a former director general of the NCAA, Nana Owusu Ansau, a former board member of the NCAA, Haji Salifu Mimina Osman, a former deputy national security coordinator, and Mr. George Opon, a private businessman who are standing trial for allegedly causing financial loss to the state. Listeners, know my position when it comes to corruption fight. I am a crusader against corruption, and I will support every move to curb its perpetration, but will always resist any attempt to use it as a weapon against a political opponent or as a bridge to reach one's political destination. I believe in free, impartial, and fair investigations and trial, and also holds the view that our judiciary must be genuinely independent. I've said earlier on that there are so many reasons why I have decided to do this story today. And the one reason is the serious problem facing our judiciary system today and the perception of its extreme politicization. Today, in our judiciary system, administrative decisions, handling of cases are tainted by political considerations and judicial rulings. This state of affairs, I believe, should be remedied in order to be compatible with national and international standards of fair trial and other judicial guarantees. Today, I'm going to talk about one judge. Yes, I'm going to talk about one judge who has become basically the mouthpiece of this current government, which I belong to, the NPP. This man is called Justice Eric Che Bafo. Justice Eric Che Bafo. This is the same judge presiding on the NCAA case, but there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes to make sure Justice Eric Che Bafo twists the law to favor this current government. Lots and lots of things happening behind the scene. The reason is simple. It is because since we, the NPP, took over as a government, we have failed in all our quest to prosecute any member or appointee of the past administration, which one way or the other is making us look incompetent and also making us look at liars who lied our way into power. My fellow Ghanaians, are you people aware that it was this same judge, this same Justice Eric Che Bafo, who presided over the cocaine 10 Konkonte case? This was the same judge. He presided over the Konkonte case, the cocaine that turned into Konkonte. Now, another fact about this Justice Che Bafo is that he was hurriedly promoted by this government to execute their political agenda. Che Bafo was quickly promoted from a high court judge to an appeals court judge. I can say on authority that Justice Eric Chebafor is operating on the orders of the President and Mr. Kandapa. This was the reason why the case of the former NCAA board members was jumped straight to the commercial court where Chebafor operates so that he will execute this government's agenda. This is basic. With all due respect, my fellow Ghanaians, Justice Chebafor is seriously doing the bidding of the President and more importantly, the bidding of the National Security Minister, Mr. Kandapa, who has been caught on tape trying to seduce a woman. Mr. Dapa has been in the news for different reasons, but in the weeks to come, I will release audios and videos of Justice Chebafor interactions with these people on how Mr. Kandapa wants to use the court to settle personal issues between himself and one of the accused, Bonnie Bafo. The National Security Minister, Mr. Kandapa, and this Bonnie man are chasing the same lady. Kandapa suspects that Bonnie is the real father of his kids with the lady. When the case started, Kandapa showed serious interest because of this matter. And everyone knows that. He was the man leading the prosecution. He was the man pulling the strings behind the scenes. When you go to the Attorney General's office, the CJ, they all know that Kandapa was the one pushing this case. This is the same judge who refused the request of one of the accused who is also a kidney patient. The accused wanted this judge to excuse him for treatment. This judge, Chebafor, insisted the case would still be heard even in his absence. The shocking thing here is Justice Chebafor is in a rush to make sure this case is called in favor of this government. His posture and conduct most of the times got the Supreme Court. It got the Supreme Court really worried. The Supreme Court on 3 occasions when constitutional issues were brought before it questioned why the trial judge, who is Justice Chebafor, was rushing the trial. The judge has never opposed the Attorney General in court. He always agrees with every submission by the Attorney General. My fellow Ghanaians, with all due respect, we have done thorough investigations on this issue, and if the Chief Justice decides to ignore this bad signal, I will have no option than to release audio conversations between some of these judges and especially Justice Chebafor. Justice Chebafor has become too powerful and too rich in these short times. Yes, he has become too powerful and too rich in these few years, and I don't think this judge takes more salary than any other judge in this country. He recently built one of the most expensive mansions in Accra, which in fact has become the talk in the corridors of the Justice Department. The shocking part in this case is now government security agencies have been forced to collaborate with this government to twist the arm of justice. The BNI board has forced one of his junior officers to forge a signature to confirm that he was there when one of the accused made his confession. When the case was raised in court and when the junior officer was called to testify, he denied it. Yes, the junior officer denied it. This is what the deputy director of the BNI, he's called Timothy Coleman, said after the incident. And I quote, "If they knew the independent witness didn't sign, they wouldn't have brought the matter to court." End of quote. I will also play audio of one Mrs. Evelyn Dawi Kilson, a niece of the senior minister Osaf Mafo. This lady is eyeing the DPP position at the Attorney General's office. She's doing everything to make sure she gets that position. So she's licking the ass of people in power to make sure that these people are prosecuted. The morning before accused persons opened their defense, it happened. Mr. Osaf Mafo, if he's listening to me, called the trial judge, Justice Chebafor, and instructed him to do something in the interest of the government. Osaf Mafo called the judge. He's tampering with justice. Yes, Osaf Mafo was tampering with justice, and we have evidence to prove that. And he said they should do something. The judge should do something in the interest of government. I will play the voice recording for the world to know the seriousness of this topic I am discussing today. My fellow Ghanaians, I will play voices of lawyer Gary Nimakon, where he had countless meetings in different locations concerning this NCA case and how it will end. I will also play a voice recording of Evelyn Kilson, who is the niece of Osaf Mafo, exerting pressure on BNI officers on phone to come and lie in court. With all due respect, my fellow Ghanaians, some fair-minded persons at the Attorney General's office have questioned the unethical procedure being deployed by Kilson, the BNI agent, and the trial judge in this particular case. According to them, the method adopted by their colleagues are unethical and illegal. They have questioned why an independent witness will be intimidated and threatened to testify in court against his own will just to get the accused convicted. The prosecution went to the extent of approaching a retired Supreme Court judge. described as the Godfather. Yes, Everybody knows him. Every judge knows him. Every lawyer knows him in Ghana. He's called the Godfather. They wanted the Godfather to use his influence and his connections to make sure that the witness purge himself in court in favor of the prosecution. My fellow Ghanaians, in the weeks to come, I will be revealing a lot from this judicial system. This is just a heads up I'm giving to the new Chief Justice. He needs to make sure the NCAA case is approached in the best manner. The Chief Justice must use this case to show Ghanaians that he has also not been compromised. What I know is one of the key principles of our judicial system is that the judges who preside over a case must be fair and impartial. There are instances, however, when one of the parties in a case has reasons to believe that the judge cannot be fair and impartial. Sometimes the judge recognizes his or her own inability to maintain that, and in those situations, the judge will either recuse himself or the party affected will move to have the judge disqualified from presiding over the case. This is the situation the accused person and the judge in this particular case find themselves. Per facts enumerated, I honestly think this judge must either recuse himself or be forced to recuse himself. He has sworn to execute his paymaster's agenda and doing it with happiness and comfort. He cannot be fair and impartial in deciding this case. Per the voice recordings and videos available, coupled with certain decisions he took, which were questioned by the apex court, I can rightly say he has acted or spoken in a way that prevents him from treating the accused persons in a fair and impartial manner. The facts known by the judge are either not part of the factual records of the case or conflict with the evidence presented in court. Finally, my fellow Ghanaians, on Tuesday, this same judge, Eric Chebafor, would take his seat again on the NCAA case, and from the information I have gathered, he will build a foundation for his final onslaught. From our source at the AG's department, some honest Ghanaians in there are not happy the way Justice Chebafor is being manipulated to twist the arm of the law to favor some politicians and this government. My fellow Ghanaians, if we lose focus, Justice Chebafor will twist our democracy. He will destroy our democracy, the same way Jane Mensah and her EC zombies are trying to do. I have said, I have tapes, audio. I will release them if the right thing is not done. Justice Chebafor has been compromised by this government, and the quicker the Chief Justice takes him off this case, the better for our judicial system, and also better for the Chief Justice himself. This is not a warning, but a serious caution. I have always said that I am just a messenger without a Bible or a Quran in my hand, a messenger who is willing and ready to speak truth to power. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kelvin Taylor, and this is With All Due Respect.